What's up, guys? We're back. I've got 6 demon picks. This is a monster. This is a 2000X flex. So there's no point. You guys know sometimes I'll take like a low unit on like a 6-man flex and I'll make the same slip and power it as well. No need to do that with this one. It's 2000X on the flex. If you get all 6, it's 5 of 6 gets you 50X, and then 4 of 6 gets you 10X. Now these are much harder to hit, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing. So we're going to break it all down in just a minute. I also have 6 plays, just regular plays for tomorrow's slate over on the Backdoor Fantasy Sports channel. I'm going to link that at the end of the video. So if you guys want some regular plays, those are already out. So we're going to break all this down. Actually, let's just talk about it. Before we do, use code FALL over at our Discord. You get 75% off through the whole month of October. So that'll be 75% off your first month. So we're running all sorts of specials, just building the community. We have a lot of fun in there. So it's more about just continuing to build the community. So 75% off your first month when you use code FALL. So you sign up through Patreon, and then there's a link to the Discord, as well, if the Patreon doesn't just link you automatically. But your subscription will be paid through Patreon. So make sure you use the code over at Patreon. And yeah, let's talk about the plays. Okay, so we're gonna go Justin Herbert. Sorry, I'm looking on my phone, and sometimes it's different than what the screen projection is. But so Justin Herbert over 39.5 rushing yards. We're gonna go Trevor Lawrence over 7.5 rush attempts. Rico Dowdle over 19.5 rush attempts. Ryan Flournoy over 64.5 receiving yards. Tez Johnson over 64.5 receiving yards, and our boy Tyquan Thornton over 49.5 receiving yards. Now, I spent a lot of time on this. What you got to do when you're making demon slips is sometimes if you're like me, sorry, got a little pouch in there. If you're like me and you like to just make slips, especially on Sundays that have super high multipliers like this one, 2000X. Have some fun with it. Sometimes you just put $1 on it. If it cashes, you made $2,000 off of $1. So yeah, obviously with this one, $5 slip's going to make you 10 grand. Now, they're harder to hit, but the thing that you got to do is like, so with this, as soon as I hit that 2000X multiplier, I started going through all of my lines again and reducing them to see, did I cap this a while ago, or like where are we sitting here? I was able to reduce 2, so you got to be careful of the cap if you're getting to the 2000X. So I actually was able to reduce 2 of these down a little bit and still get the 2000X. Like Rico Dowdle was one. I was going to take the 20.5, and then I tried his, reduced it down to 19.5, still had the 2000X. What was the other one? That may have been the only one, actually. Yeah, I think that was the only one, Rico. So long story short, adjust, play with the lines and see the different demon props. See what your multiplier is doing, because sometimes you'll catch them slipping and you'll take a lower demon and it'll give you a higher multiplier. So they're getting better about fixing those things, which I don't want them to fix, but keep that in mind. So with this particular slip, I feel like I found the exact most value for a 2000X. So we're going to get into all the details. Before we do, if you guys haven't signed up for Underdog yet, use code JRUSSO or use code BACKDOOR. Either of those, both of those codes, I'm running both channels now. So if you want to support the channel, use code JRUSSO or BACKDOOR. Play your first 5, get 100 in bonus funds just for signing up with Underdog and using either of those codes. And let's talk about Chalkboard, where you can just get a free $20. Now on Underdog and Chalkboard, they have the alt lines, so you can take these plays and go use them over there too. So if you're wanting to mess around with some high multipliers, take this free $20 on Chalkboard. Use code BACKDOOR. They're just going to give you $20. You don't even have to deposit. Now, if you deposit later, that supports me, supports what I'm doing, and I really appreciate it. But if you throw the code in on your way in, if you decide to deposit later, that hooks me up a little bit. I appreciate it, but if nothing else, go get the free $20. It's awesome. You can play it tomorrow. And yeah, they have alt lines, they have discounts, they have boosts. They run more specials than anybody. Underdog's running a bunch of specials too. So good time to be signing up for new platforms, as we're only in week 6 and we got NBA approaching. So all these platforms are running promotions right now. Definitely take advantage of it. So let's break it all down. If you guys don't mind, do me a favor, like the video, hype it up if you don't mind. Drop me a comment if you have questions about plays. As often as I can, I'll hop on mobile and I'll get back to you guys. I'll use Outlier, whatever tools I'm using. I'll do a little bit of research for you and get back to you in the comments. All that engagement helps me grow the channel, and I really appreciate it. So let's start breaking down the plays. Let's see what we got here first. Who's up first? Our boy Tyquan Thornton. He's kind of my MVP because he just continues to go under the radar. And I knew when I saw his fantasy score, took his fantasy score in the other video, spoiler alert, if you guys go check that out on Backdoor Fantasy Sports, his fantasy score is at 4.5. Dude's just been balling and he's looked good. I think that until Rashee Rice comes back, I mean, like, that might be a good thing because I think Thornton has earned a spot and they're just continuing to think like, oh, Xavier Worthy is healthier. Thornton, let's put his fantasy score at 4.5 and we're going to take that all day. We've seen, like, this is the 2025 season. He's gone for 41, 59, 71, had a down game, and then bounced back with 90 yards against Jacksonville, who actually is a little bit of a pass funnel. They're good about getting interceptions. They're a solid defense, and they're working out their offense. Look out for Jacksonville. They're continuing to figure things out. We haven't even seen the best of them yet, but yeah, they are a little bit of a pass funnel, but they pick teams off. They're crazy with the interceptions, but they do allow a lot of yards through the air. If we take a look here, they're ranked 26th in receiving yards. Why am I talking about Jacksonville? That was because that was the last game. The actual matchup, Detroit, is even better because they're a little banged up. But still, same here. 26th in receiving yards allowed, 160 through the air on average. Now, Thornton has been this reliable target for Patrick Mahomes because there's a lot of attention on Kelsey. There's a lot of attention on Xavier Worthy. They're always kind of threatening with the run. They got a running back by committee situation going on there, but it's still effective. And Patrick Mahomes is just the king of finding the open guy and delivering almost a perfect ball every time on the run, switch hands, whatever he needs to do. He puts it right in there. And Thornton has been the guy that's kind of been the odd man out as far as attention goes. And Mahomes has been catching him every time with some deep shots. So, like, if we take a look here, yeah, that Jacksonville game, he went for 90. Let's look at his receptions. He had 5 targets and that was 3 catches. So his average yards per reception was 30. So he doesn't even need a ton of volume to get this done because he's kind of like this deep weapon for them. They've got Xavier Worthy kind of running all over the place now, and he's got the speed to be the deep threat too. But Thornton just gets kind of like, they forget about Thornton and they're utilizing him, and he's bringing down his catches. If you look at those receptions, yeah, I mean, 3 out of 5, not too bad, but it's where he's getting the yards. So yeah, averaging 30, his longest was 34 in that game. And then now he's got this good matchup, and this over-under is the highest of the week, 52.5. They're expecting it to be a high-scoring game, playing in Kansas City. On the other video, I broke this play down too because we took his fantasy score at 4.5, and the weather isn't supposed to be too bad. I think there's a chance of thunderstorms. I'll just show you guys real quick. Slight chance of thunderstorms. Okay, so it's actually increased a little bit. So first half of the game, there are some gusts. Up to 20 miles an hour. So we'll keep an eye on that. What we really don't want is game delays because that just sort of deflates the momentum. These players, they got to get back warmed up. It's like, I don't like these long breaks when there's lightning and stuff. Obviously you got to be safe, but still. So yeah. Okay. So actually kind of warm too. Low 80s, high 70s. So hopefully the weather isn't too bad, but we don't really need Thornton to do too much. And this is a demon play, so we're just hoping that he catches a couple deep balls and cashes that 49.5 for us. All right, not going to be using the DFS optimizer from Daily Grind. It's a killer tool, but they don't cover the demon plays. So if you want regular plays, definitely check this out. Use code BACKDOOR, you get 25% off. This is great for NBA too. So yeah, you can build plays with this. I always vet my plays typically, but obviously if I'm taking a demon play, you can still kind of vet your plays. If the regular line is super juiced to go over, then you can feel better about the demon play. But anyways, if you guys want to check that out, they'll let you lock that in for as long as you want. You can lock it in for a full year, get 25% off if you want. Just use code BACKDOOR. All right, let's move on. Okay, so Rico Dowdle, I have to take a chance on it. So you could take the rushing yards if you want. But I believe the lowest demon was 99.5, which I think he's going to eclipse tomorrow. But the multiplier wasn't as generous as the rush attempts. So he's got the revenge game narrative going up against his old team Dallas, who let him go after he had a pretty solid year, putting up over 1,000 yards. And the Cowboys did not look as good as they do this year on offense. But yeah, revenge game. He's going back. He's coming off this monster game. Excuse me. It was his first start. Chuba Hubbard was out, and Chuba is out for this game too. He got 23 attempts in this last game against Miami. He had a soft matchup. He's got a soft matchup here against Dallas, so we're in good shape there. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is even before he got his official start, he was getting worked in. He had 9, 10. So he was, and that was like, so he had 10 rush attempts against Atlanta. They were crushing them, and that's a tough matchup too. And then a tough matchup against New England. They lost that game, and he still had 10 attempts. And then he gets his first start, and they go and they beat Miami. Again, easier matchup, but Miami's been kind of surging a little bit. So that was kind of like going into that game. It was kind of like you didn't know who was going to win that 27-24. He ran all over them. He went for 206 rushing yards. He was averaging 9 yards a carry, and they gave him 23. So we need him to get, what did we take? 19.5. So we need him to get 20. If we take a look at Dallas here, they're 23rd in rush attempts allowed. On average, so far through the 2025 season, teams are rushing the ball 29 times. Well, Rico, I don't think Trevor Etienne, Travis's little brother, I don't think that he's going to be cutting into this workload much. Without Chuba, let's see, rush share. He had 72% of the rushing attempts, and they had 32 total. So if any given team is averaging about 29 rush attempts on Dallas, and as a team, they've been going 30, 28, 32. Well, this last game when he got the start, 23 attempts out of 32. So I like it. I think he's going to be effective, but the point about the rush attempts is you don't need him to be. But I think they're going to continue to hammer the run game. I think it's going to be a fun game to have pieces of. So let's go ahead and move on here. Actually, one more thing before we go. I just want to see. Okay. So if we look at past running backs against Dallas, the Jets, I'm kind of just dismissing this because the Jets are a mess. There's no rhyme or reason for the things they're doing. It's just like an absolute failure of a team right now. But then you have a team that's a little more organized, knows what they're doing. Green Bay, Josh Jacobs, and that game went nuts. What was that, 40-40? Had a little bit of overtime, so you want to keep that in mind. But he had 22 rush attempts. And then DeAndre Swift. I wish we had more samples than just these running backs, but this is what Outlier is bringing up. DeAndre Swift, that's also a little bit of a mess. He's getting the bulk of the work, but they're kind of like, they're pretty pass heavy right now. And then Tyrone Tracy, I don't even know why that's on there. He's been pretty much irrelevant for a minute now. That is the Cam Scatabo show out there in New York. All right, so let's move on. Okay, Justin Herbert, I like this. We need him to get 40 because I wanted that 2000X, but you can reduce this. You can like tweak these. These are just plays that I think are going to do well. These are plays that are on my radar, and I'm shooting for the 2000X, but you guys don't have to go that crazy. I'll probably make another slip and I'll just reduce these a little bit. See if I can get like a 900X, 700X, something like that. Have some fun with it, but we need him to get 40. He just put up 60 against Washington in a game that they lost. But yeah, he's cleared his regular line 4 out of the 5 games this season. And the matchup is solid here. He's going up against Miami, who we just saw Rico Dowdle ran all over them. And since he's been more inclined, going for 60 yards against Washington, how many attempts was that on? 4 attempts. He was able to break that off. And we've got Quentin Johnston, who is not at 100%. So they're kind of in a situation here where they don't have Omarion Hampton. So they got 2 backup running backs going to be kind of splitting the workload, which you could check out some of their demons. I'll probably throw some of those in a slip as well. Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins. So if you guys join the Discord, you'll be seeing all the different demon slips. And if you guys are already in the Discord, you know how crazy I go with the demon slips on Sundays. It's a lot of fun. I make a bunch of regular slips too, but the demon slips, Jay and I, shout out Jay, that dude cashes a lot. And he's pretty crazy with the demons too. He's a psycho just like me. But my point is 4 attempts. What was his longest? 41 yards. That makes sense. So he broke off a big one. The week before he had a 24 yard on the longest rush, but his average was 10. Or this is just in general. His average was 15 in that last game where he went for 60 yards. So he's got a soft matchup here. On average, quarterbacks run for 32.8 rushing yards. They're 29th. So it's Miami. Okay, so enough said there. I think that he can get us 40 in this matchup here. And they really need a win. And, Quentin Johnson, like I said, has been kind of the wide receiver 1 out there, and he's not at 100%. So, and their RB1 is out. So he's going to be taking advantage of those holes. All right, let's keep it moving. By the way, if you guys want to try out Outlier, this app that I'm on, which I absolutely love, if you're taking demon plays, it's essential to be able to dive into these details. And you can try it for free. So just sign up through the link below. You don't even need to put a code in. They're going to give you a week with this to have some fun. All right. So Tez Johnson, this dude is very interesting. I picked him up in Dynasty, and then I was holding him, and then I was like, oh, I'll grab Sterling Shepard. Then I had both of them. Then I dropped them both because there was other guys on the waiver wire. And then before I could get back and grab Tez again, because I wanted that. I wanted like a stack. I wanted like a potential stack because Baker is my quarterback. And my cousin, Bobby, he snaked him this week. So I can no longer get Tez. But now we got Chris Godwin out. We got Mike Evans out. And all the attention is going to be on Emeka Egbuka. So he played great. He's just starting to get the love, and he played great in the preseason. He's an undersized wide receiver, but he is very physical, very athletic. He's fast. He's a good route runner. He's got solid hands, and I think that he's gonna see a boost in snaps with Godwin out. So yeah, he played against the Seahawks in that last game, and he went for 59 yards. I believe we took 64.5 to get that high multiplier, and I think he's going to hit that. But this is another one that you could cut it back a little bit. Now, 59 against the Seahawks. They were ranked 26. They've actually been somewhat vulnerable through the air. This matchup against San Francisco is going to be tough. 16th in receiving yards allowed, 143.8 yards through the air is what they're allowing. But we got Baker Mayfield, who is putting it absolutely on the money to his guys. We see, like, it doesn't matter right now who's getting injured. Baker is making all these guys look really good. Egbuka is good, don't get me wrong, but Baker is just like, yeah, I got you. Like, the dude is an absolute stud. And let's see how many receptions that was on. So he had 4 targets, pulled all 4 of them down. His average yards per reception was 11.4. No, is 11.4. That game, it was 14.8. His longest reception was 27. So I think in this matchup against San Francisco, where he's probably going to see a bump in snaps now that Godwin is officially out, I think because he actually started, I think there were 3 wide receiver sets to start the game, and they had Tez out there over Sterling Shepard, if I'm not mistaken. So Sterling Shepard is also pretty decent, but he's 32 years old. He's kind of a little bit slower than he used to be. He's been through some serious injuries. Tez is a young player. I think maybe he's a rookie, maybe he's a second year at most. But this dude was making splashes in the preseason, and yeah, I think Baker's going to look his way because I think Egbuka is going to get a ton of attention. San Francisco is going to probably try to say, like, hey, you don't have Bucky Irving right now. You don't have Mike Evans. You don't have Chris Godwin. We're going to focus on Emeka Egbuka and see what you can do here without him. I think Egbuka's still going to have a good game, but Baker will find a way. I think that they're going to win this game. So yeah, Tez Johnson. You could take his regular line too. Let's take a look here real quick. So yeah, if you take a look, I was just saying they kind of focus on the main guy. So Puka Nacua, last time they played on October 2nd, my wife's birthday, he still had a good game. Puka went for 85 yards, but his line was set at 95.5. So they kept the number 1 from hitting his line. The number 2, Devontae Adams, went for 88, exceeded his line. His line was at 54.5. Then you got Jordan Whittington, exceeded his line. You got Tutu Atwell, exceeded his line. His line was at 8.5 and he went for 72. One of those was like a big play, obviously. But man, those were some opportunities for some demon plays right there. And then you got Travis Hunter. He exceeded his line. Brian Thomas did not. So they're focusing on taking the number 1 out. Do we have another example of that? Not really. But more recently, you can see everybody ate except for Puka. But what's crazy is that 85 yards is Puka being somewhat shut down, not hitting his line. So I think Tez is gonna probably. I would say I would feel comfortable taking it all the way up to like 74.5. But again, these are demon plays, so he could go out there and it could not be a great day. But we're shooting for a 2000X here, so I like this guy a lot. Do I not have all these pulled up? I don't think I do. I'll have to pull one up. The missing link here. So Trevor Lawrence is our next here. So this was interesting to me. Liam Cohen. He had Baker running a lot last year, and we were taking full advantage of that. And Baker is still, he's capable of running, even though you don't think of him as a mobile quarterback. Well, Trevor Lawrence actually does have the wheels to do it. And if you look at this game against San Francisco, he had 7, but to open up, he wasn't really doing much. Like I told you guys, like they're still figuring this offense out. And then he went for 7. Then he had 10 attempts against Kansas City. And if you were watching this game, most of those attempts were in the second half. Their offense came to life at the end there, and it was Trevor Lawrence just going crazy. So I think that they're going to try to implement that a little bit earlier on. If we take a look here, the Seahawks, they're 12th in rushing attempts allowed. So they, on average, about 25. Now, Travis Etienne, his attempts line is typically set at about, I think we took it last time at 14.5. It opened at 13.5, and I think he ended up going for 12 in that same game because he was on pace. He had 8 rush attempts in the first half, and I was thinking, sweet, this Travis attempts is going to cash for us for sure. And then he only had 4 in the second half because Trevor was just they were running the option, and he was just extending plays, and Trevor was getting in the end zone, and it was very effective against Kansas City. So I think that we're gonna see more of that earlier on. So I like these rush attempts. Now you could take this down to 5.5. But I wanted that 2000X for this one in particular. And so I'm like, I'll take 7.5. He's got back-to-back weeks with at least 7, and it was really effective. And I feel like the Jaguars looked like they figured something out. And so I think we're going to see more of that early on. So I'm feeling good about it. Let's take a look at what some of these other. Let's see what some of these other. Okay, so Baker's not running as much as he has been, especially because he got a little bit banged up. So I think we're going to see more of it. But I think they opened up the season with a little bit of offensive line issues, and Baker took some hard hits in the first couple of weeks. So I think that's going to come back. But like if we look at October 5th, Baker went for 5, and his line was set at 3.5. Kyler Murray went for 5. He didn't hit his line. The Cardinals are Kyler's just not, in general, the Cardinals are kind of a mess right now, but Kyler has not been utilizing his wheels properly, in my opinion. But then you have Spencer Rattler. He's not really going to run the ball that much. Brock Purdy can kind of be sneaky, but also been dealing with injury. So none of these really scare me off of this when you've got Trevor coming off a game where he went for 10, and the week before against San Francisco, he went for 7. But again, if you guys watch this Kansas City game, you saw they just figured something out. I think we're going to see more of this moving forward. So let's see who we're missing here. I'll pull it up real quick. We did Rico. Okay, so Flournoy. I did not put that in there. Okay, well, I'll just show you guys how Outlier works. So we're just going to go to the player. I'll show you a little bit about this. I love this app. So we're going to type in the name. Ryan Flournoy. Boom. Give me all the goodness. So what I love about Outlier, if you take a look here, Right now it's set to last 10 and it's just showing you the hit rates right there. Now these aren't going to look great for him because he just broke out last week. But yeah, you can switch this to last 5 if you're like, okay, so show me in the order of the last 5 how good these hit rates are. Let's take a look at head to head. We don't really have an example here because he hasn't played them head to head, but you can go 2025. What's he looking like? How did he do last year? 2024. Like it covers everything. That's why I love this app. But here we go. Ryan Flournoy. You can click into any of these, but it's showing you in the order. It even shows you the matchup for the week in this particular. So like first quarter receiving yards, they're showing you their 8th, blah, blah, blah. But let's go here. So we're going to go over to his receiving yards up top here. And we're going to take a look. So this was like the first we heard about this dude, and this was a tough matchup. 9th in receiving yards allowed to wide receivers, and he went nuts, 114 yards. Now, CeeDee Lamb is not back yet, and George Pickens is going to be getting all the attention, but Dak was looking this dude's way because it's like, okay, bro, you catch 2, you catch 3, you go from heating up to on fire, and Dak's just like, I'll keep feeding you. They're going for Pickens every time, so I'll put it in. Dak is playing out of his mind right now. So yeah, he ended up with 9 targets, pulled down 6 of them. His average yards per reception was 19, and then his longest was 46. So we have another situation here where it's a tough matchup against the Panthers. And I think that it's not going to slow down this Dallas offense because they're just like on fire right now. But the attention, I think, is going to be on George Pickens and Jake Ferguson. And I think that this dude is going to be able to eat again. And I think until CeeDee Lamb comes back, they're kind of like, okay, like this is the perfect position. And you're like considered like, you're not necessarily the wide receiver 2 on this team because Jake Ferguson's getting a lot of love too, but you're like the 3rd target. Like, if you're out here catching everything and having a big game, why are the Cowboys going to be like, okay, good job, but you haven't earned your spot? It's like, no, they're going to throw him right back out there. He's going to see a bump in snaps this week because he killed it last week against the Jets. So yeah, receiving yards. Carolina, they're 8th in receiving yards allowed, 211.6 on average. And then to wide receivers, they're 2nd, 101. So I think that the majority of that attention is going to be on Pickens. And I think that this dude is going to be able to get it done. So it's worth taking a shot on it for a demon play, is the way I see it. Now let's come down here and take a look at what's been going on here. So Waddle was able to get 110 off of them. When was that? Okay, so that was after the Hill injury. So that's the wide receiver 1 technically. Stephon Diggs did well against Carolina, 101. His line was set at 35.5. That was a demon to take that day. Late September. I think that was when he first broke out. And then Buffalo the following week. So yeah, this isn't necessarily something that is that helpful in this particular situation because it's such a small sample size. But yeah, target share. If you take a look here, we didn't even know this dude's name. 0 targets, 0. He's like not getting any snaps. And they're like, we'll ease you in 6%, 5%. And then he emerges 30% against the Jets. So this is just kind of like a little bit of a wild card, but I'm going to take advantage because they're keeping his line low because of that. I mean, his regular line's at 34.5. He just went for 114 against another tough defense for receiving yards. So that's my narrative. I think the attention's going to be on Pickens, and I think Dak's going to be able to put this right where this dude needs the ball to be. And he showed that he's competent. He pulled down 6 of those for 114. So yeah, feeling good about it. Now on my other video over at Backdoor Fantasy Sports, I broke down a bunch of other plays, bonus plays. So if you guys want to go check that out, it should be linked at the end of the video. But I got to get rolling, so I'm not going to go through a bunch of bonus plays right now, regular plays, but I have a ton on the other video. So if you guys want to check that out, it is live. But I appreciate you guys so much. If you join the Discord, make sure you hop in the community chat. Let me know you're new because I want to make sure you guys understand how we do things in there. And Sundays are fun, so we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. If you want to join, remember, code FALL gets you 75% off your first month right now. Don't forget to like the video, drop me a comment. I hope you guys have a killer Sunday. Good luck on all your slips. I'll catch you in the next one.